the blockchain industry, if you like, is headbutting with the regulators.
Yep.
And it's not going well for either side.
No.
And they're making a complete hash of it.
I know that you were on a panel here at the conference talking about lots of things like trusts and contracts. So can you give us some of the main points that you were making on that panel?
The main issue there is that we're living in a very difficult world of regulatory problems. My point is they could solve a lot of problems if they simply use the legal tools that exist. And the first tool is contracts.
Yes.
This is the way we work together as society.
Yes.
We do a deal together, we have a contract. If we're professional about it and we're careful about it, and who doesn't want to be careful, we write the contract down. So the regulators could solve a lot of problems if they turned around to the blockchain industry and said, yeah, go ahead and do this crazy stuff, but first, show us the contract. And once you've done that, people start thinking, okay, what should be in the contract? And they start copying each other, they start improving their lives by documenting their processes and then sticking to it. So once you've got contracts in place, the whole space would evolve to a higher level of professionalism and integrity and responsibility. But without contracts, there's no control.
Yeah.
The second thing is when we're talking about how we look after assets, there's a ready-made thing in the law called the trust. We put our assets in a trust and then the trustee looks after the assets. If they organize themselves around trusts, they would have a higher duty of care, fiduciary duty to do the right thing by their customers, by their beneficiaries, the beneficiaries of trust. So this would take exchanges and lift them up to a high level of regulation already. You don't need new regulations. You don't need to copy banking law into crypto law. You just simply use the law that's there. So why don't regulators understand this? It would be my question.
Why though? I know that you say you don't know why, but what would be your guess as to why the regulators haven't caught on to this yet?
I think the regulators have got themselves into a mode whereby they turn around and say, okay, how do we get control of this crypto stuff? Well, we got to go speak to the experts. And they go and speak to the coin exchanges and they go and speak to various people who talk and so forth. None of these people have much knowledge about the law. Or they go and speak to the banks.
Yes.
And what do the banks want to do? The banks just want to clobber everything because they don't want the competition.
No.
So the banks give them bad advice as well. So you've got bad advice coming from all quarters. I think the regulators, of course, are caught in that mess where they don't have the skills to do what they're doing. And consequently, that's what happens.
I feel like you might have a nice solution for these issues with Hover Trust. I'm guessing, because of the name of the company. But I wanted for you to explain to me what this company is all about. It's very exciting, something new to be working on, I'm sure.
Yes.
Tell me what you're doing and what problems are you solving.
We're taking this humble trust, which has been around for 1,000 years. We give every user of our platform a trust so that we then lift the duty of care up to this fiduciary standard. We are already highly regulated because the licensed trust provider is a very hard license to get. Every customer who comes in becomes a beneficiary of a trust. And the other thing it does, aside from solving the regulatory issues that everybody has, is create a jurisdictional single location. It's just one regulator because international trust law says where that trust is where we do the jurisdiction.
Outstanding, and I feel like one of the themes of this conference is how to simplify things. And what you're saying sounds like you're simplifying such a complicated issue, making it really easy for the customer, which I think is brilliant.
Easy for the customer, easy for the regulator.
Brilliant.